you ever heard someone say, "I can't wait for winter," and watched everyone around them look confused, like they'd said something backwards? Have you ever seen someone light up at the first cold morning while everyone else mourns the end of summer? Have you ever noticed that the person who dreads the beach trip is often the same person who feels most like themselves in a quiet, snow-covered week? Here's the strangest part. These people aren't cold, unfriendly, or against fun. Many of them are warm, social, deeply feeling people. Most people assume preferring winter is just a quirky taste, like disliking cilantro. But psychology suggests something much more specific is happening. For some people, winter isn't a season they tolerate. It's a season that finally lets their nervous system exhale. By the end of this video, you'll know the 4 psychological patterns behind this preference. The first was shaped long before they ever chose a favorite season. The second is about how much stimulation a brain can comfortably hold. The third is a kind of pressure you've probably felt yourself this summer. And the fourth might be the most surprising reason of all, because sometimes choosing winter is choosing yourself. Picture a boy, maybe 8 years old, during a snowstorm. School is canceled. The world outside goes quiet and white. Inside the house is warm. His parents are home, unhurried, no schedule to rush to. Someone makes soup, someone reads on the couch. For one whole day, nothing is required of him. Now picture that same boy in July. A crowded family barbecue, loud cousins, forced conversations, heat pressing down like a hand. Everyone smiling, sweating, performing a good time. He loves his family. But something in his body tightens the moment the noise rises. Psychologists who study temperament have long noted that children differ in how much stimulation feels comfortable to them. Some children thrive in noise and crowds. Others recharge in stillness. For a child wired toward the second kind, that snow day wasn't just fun. It was the first time his nervous system felt like it could rest. Years later, that feeling never really left him. Winter still means nothing is required of you right now. Summer still means perform, socialize, keep up. If a quiet, snowy afternoon has always felt safer to you than a crowded pool party, type "same here" in the comments. But this preference isn't only about memory, because something is happening in the brain itself. Doing a job most people never notice. Psychologists have a concept called optimal level of arousal. Every brain has a zone where it functions best. Not too bored, not too overstimulated, but that zone isn't the same size for everyone. Some brains, often described as more introverted, have a naturally higher baseline of internal alertness, which means they don't need much external noise to feel fully activated. Add real noise on top of that, and the system tips into overload fast. Now think about what summer actually asks of the brain. Bright light, heat, crowded spaces, constant social contact, long event-filled days. For an already alert nervous system, that's not energizing, it's a flood. Winter, by contrast, naturally lowers the volume. Shorter days, fewer obligations. Permission to stay in. For a highly stimulated brain, that's not deprivation, that's relief. This is also part of why some researchers describe a lesser-known pattern. For a portion of people, it's summer, not winter, that quietly drains their mood. Not the cold that gets to them, the noise. And the third reason, you've probably felt without ever naming it, maybe this very summer. Think about what summer culture actually demands. Be outside, be tan, be social, be having the time of your life, post the beach, post the trip, post the best summer ever. There's an unspoken rule that summer is supposed to be joyful, on command, constantly. For someone whose energy runs differently, that expectation becomes its own quiet pressure. Every invitation feels like an obligation. Every "we should hang out more this summer" comes with invisible weight. Winter, on the other hand, comes with permission built in. Nobody questions you for staying home on a cold Tuesday night. Nobody expects a highlight reel from January. The bar for enough drops, and for some people, that drop feels like breathing room. It's not that they dislike people or joy or sunshine. It's that summer often asks them to perform those things on someone else's timeline, and winter simply doesn't ask as much. Which brings us to the fourth reason. The quietest one. The one that has nothing to do with temperature at all. Psychologists studying attention have found something called attention restoration. The idea that certain environments actively help a tired mind recover. Not through activity, through stillness, a quiet, snow-covered field, a dim room with soft light, slow, undemanding hours. These aren't just cozy, they're restorative in a measurable psychological sense. Winter, almost by design, offers exactly that kind of environment. Less to look at, less to respond to, more room to simply think. For the boy who once found peace in a snowed-in living room, winter was never really about the cold. It was the one season that gave his attention somewhere to land and stay. Summer says, "Go do everything all at once, right now." Winter says, "You don't have to." That doesn't mean summer is the villain here. For many people, it's genuinely their most alive, most joyful season. But for others, preferring winter was never about hating warmth or sunlight. It was their body quietly telling them, year after year, which season finally lets them stop performing. So the next time someone says they're already counting down to winter, don't assume something is wrong with them. Maybe ask a different question instead, not "why don't you like summer?" but "what does winter finally let you put down?" Maybe that boy in the snowed-in house never stopped needing quiet days. He just finally stopped apologizing for loving them. If this is you, comment "Winter lets me breathe" below. And if you want to understand why your mind works this way, the next video on your screen goes even deeper.